A new report out today from the Congressional Budget Office finds roughly 5 out of 6 recipients of jobless benefits would receive more money than they could expect to earn from regular work if those benefits are extended for 6 months. Dan Mitchell joins us, Center for Freedom and Prosperity, where he's chairman. You're going to hear a lot about this debate, Dan, over the next number of weeks and maybe months. And in Congress, we don't really have that long until the end of July when they expire. The extended benefits, though, earning more money staying home on unemployment than going to work. What's your view on whether we should have an extension, given what we're learning here today from the CBO?
If you're paying people more not to work than they get if they work, of course you're going to have higher levels of unemployment. I'm baffled that this extra $600 a week was ever put in the first place. I guess it was like a coronavirus bonus or something like that. But now that, in theory, we're beginning to open the economy back up again, we need to get labor and capital back being deployed to generate prosperity and restore growth for the American economy. If politicians extend this program and give people not only unemployment benefits, but then the extra $600 a week, that is unquestionably a recipe for higher unemployment.
So the other finding of that CBO report, and Democrats, by the way, are pushing hard for an extension. That's why that CBO report was commissioned, and they want to extend it till January of 2021. But the other finding was they found that the average amount spent on all kinds of things, food and housing, other items, goods and services, it would be closer to what people would spend if they were employed if the benefits were not extended, which I guess is kind of obvious. And I guess the question, Dan, is can you make the case for extending the $600 and say that's going to help the overall economy, or it just simply doesn't work that way?
Well, it depends. If you're a Keynesian economist and you think that the government can take money out of its left pocket and then put the money in the right pocket, and therefore there'll somehow be more spending in the economy, then yes, giving people this extra money to be unemployed is a form of quote-unquote stimulus. Remember way back during the Obama years when Nancy Pelosi said giving people unemployment benefits was great stimulus, in effect paying them not to work. And by the way, during the Obama years, we had this exact same fight. Obama wanted extended unemployment benefits. The Republicans in Congress finally said no. So in 2014, those extended benefits went away. What happened? People went back to work. If you pay people not to work, they're not going to work. It's just even by Washington standards, it's crazy.
We've heard it a lot. I mean, we've spent a fair amount of time out the last few weeks talking to small business owners. We've started to hear that. Like in the restaurant business, I've heard it a bunch where people say, well, we want to get people back, but they're making more on unemployment. So it's a challenge for us. The other thing I read today, maybe you could put your political hat on as a final question, is that some of the Republicans who might be inclined to vote against this, and many probably will, but some are concerned about the politics, saying that at least part of what we're seeing in terms of the protests is driven by, people who are out of work, that they're inspired by the economic problems that they're having, and Republicans might be reluctant to vote against, to take away the unemployment benefits, essentially, or the extension of them from those people. What do you think?
What's the old saying that we heard as kids, idle hands are the devil's workshop? You have people sitting around doing nothing. Some of them are going to take advantage of that to misbehave. Again, I want to harken back to, we went through this exact same debate where Republicans back in the early part of last decade were very nervous about ending the extended unemployment benefits because, oh, you want people with long-term joblessness to suffer. Well, it turns out once people weren't being subsidized to be unemployed, they went back to work. So if you really care about the economy, if you care about people having the dignity of work, if you care about getting anything close to a V-shaped recovery, we need to make sure that when we hit July 31st, I believe it is, we need these extended supercharged benefits to go away.
So if they go away, you think a V-shaped recovery is more likely. Is that what you're getting at?
Well, we'll get closer to that. I think there's going to be long-term damage because some sectors of the economy, simply because of consumer nervousness, movie theaters, cruise ships, major sporting events, some things won't go back to normal very quickly. But we obviously want to get as close to a V-shaped recovery as we can. We don't want long, lingering, jobless recovery like we had under Obama.